we'll bring you that later. But the party in the Central Region says it looks forward to cementing its base in the region to ensure it wins more parliamentary seats in the next general elections. Central Regional Correspondent Akwesi Addo joins us via Zoom for an update. Akwesi, good to have you on the show. Which constituencies are outstanding and what is being done by the regional executives to address them?
Okay, so Ken, currently the constituency we have in outstanding is the Aguna East constituency here in the Central Region. And ideally, they organized elections and we're expecting to see delegates voting to elect constituency executives. But that particular elections had to be called off on Saturday because the supervisors of the election declared the election grounds as unsafe for aspirants, delegates, and all other persons that were present at the place. One of the candidates had his name failing to appear on the ballot. And then later on, we witnessed some thugs who were wielding some weapons invading the election grounds. There were just about 82 police officers available at the ground at the time. And so the police officers said they could not guarantee the safety of all the people present there. And so the man who was in charge of the election supervisor, Mr. Bright Butchie, did write a letter to the Functional Executive Committee of the party declaring that he would want the elections to be put on hold until the party addresses some pertinent matters of that particular elections.
There was indication that the postponed election was going to be held on Sunday. Why hasn't it happened yet?
Yes, you know, it appears to be that the Aguna East are having a peculiar situation. You know, the other constituencies that really one put on hold and or rescheduled to take place yesterday, that was Sunday, was mainly as a result of the party's inability to plant enough ballot papers for the respective candidates in the respective constituencies here in the region. And that the party was able to deal with that and so cleared the other constituencies to carry on with the exercise. But that of the Aguna East, you know, it has become quite very difficult for some parties to get understanding or come to terms with the executives over some decisions they would want to take.
Right. Akwesi, tell me your overall assessment of the process and the way forward.
Yes, Ken, looking at these elections organized by the NDC, from the Central Region here, I would say that when we put all the cases and all the fallout from the various constituencies, we can say that this might be so far the poorest or worst organized elections of the NDC. You know, there is one thing that characterized almost all the constituencies. You see, we could start voting on Saturday and then ended somewhere Sunday morning in some of the constituencies. And as I speak with you now, we ended Kaswa elections somewhere around 6 a.m. this morning, because at some point in time during voting, there were shortage of ballot papers, and so organizers of the elections had to resort to a nearby printing house to print additional ballot papers. We had that same challenge also happening in the Ewutu Senya West constituency and then some other constituencies as well. In the Gomua East also, the election took us through the night, but we were able to finish counting and declaration at around 2 a.m. this night. And that place, the only challenge that election organizers had was the lack of lighting system at the elections venue. And so it means that probably ahead of the exercise, accurate preparations weren't done by the party ahead of this exercise.
Right. Akwesi Addo, grateful for your time. He's our resident correspondent in the Central Region.